Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez. Now our next speaker, we'd like to welcome His Excellency Dr. Godfrey Xuereb from Malta's. He's Malta's ambassador to the United States, and he brings extensive experience in European law and diplomacy, and he's actively fostering the Malta-US and transatlantic relations through academic and policy dialogues.
Good morning, Your Excellency Minister, colleague ambassadors, and other members of the diplomatic corps. I would like to start, like my colleagues, by thanking the U.S. Institute of Diplomacy and Human Rights for inviting the southernmost state of the European Union, the small island of Malta, island that sits right in the center of the Mediterranean, at the crossroads north to south between Europe and Africa, and east to west of the Mediterranean. We're a small island state, about the size of Washington, D.C., and our only natural resources are human resources. Although we've been independent for 60 years, we have a history going back to 5,200 BC, and we are a constitutionally neutral country. Being small does not mean we can't do, and we can't and we don't have a global role. In a world marked by shifting power dynamics and geopolitical volatility, Malta stands firm in its belief that diplomacy, measured, persistent, and inclusive, is the most effective path to peace. During the past 12 months, as the 2024 Chair in Office of the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, Malta has embraced its responsibility with clarity and conviction. We have leveraged our strategic position at the crossroads of Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East, not simply as a geographical asset, but as a platform for principled dialogue, cooperation, and lasting stability. Malta consistently advocates for peace and security in the Mediterranean, recognizing its intrinsic connection to European stability and global stability. One of our prime ministers was renowned to have said that there is no peace in the world without peace in the Mediterranean. Throughout our sustained diplomatic engagement, Malta has positioned itself as a credible and proactive actor in shaping global coalitions to address transnational threats. Malta has also been a leader in many UN initiatives, and in fact I'm proud to say that our first ambassador to the United States, Dr. Arvid Pardo, was the one who proposed the UN Law of the Sea, which is now a very important law in the world. And one of our presidents was the first to talk about, at the UN General Assembly, to talk about climate change as a global concern. During its term as an elected member of the United Nations Security Council in 23-24, Malta consistently championed the principles of humanitarian diplomacy. Malta played a pivotal role in the successful adoption of Resolution 2712, calling for extended humanitarian pause in the Israel-Gaza conflict, and it was the first time that the Gaza conflict was paused. In 2024, Malta played a pivotal role in advancing the protection of children affected by armed conflict during its tenure in the UNSC. Malta's leadership in this initiative reflects its commitment to safeguard children in armed conflict and its broader dedication to upholding international humanitarian principles. As Malta assumed the presidency of the Committee of Ministers of the Council of Europe in 2025, only a few days ago, it steps into this role with gratitude, commitment, and a deep sense of responsibility to protect the most vulnerable by upholding the values of human rights, democracy, and the rule of law. The priorities of the Maltese presidency will focus on protecting children, combating violence and discrimination, empowering youth, and maintaining the ongoing support to Ukraine. Malta is also very pleased for the leading efforts to establish in Malta the Global Center for Maritime Sanctions Monitoring, which has two main objectives: to monitor anomalous vessel movements suspected of circumventing the UN Security Council sanctions in the maritime domain, and secondly, to enhance the capacity building and generate awareness with shipping registers and other maritime enforcement agencies of the UN Security Council's sanctions. Malta is very pleased with the technical support of the USA authorities for this monitoring center. As a steadfast advocate of small island developing states, Malta consistently works to ensure that the particular realities and challenges of SIDS remain at the forefront in global policy discourse. Malta's foreign policy also reflects this commitment through capacity building initiatives, including scholarships for students from SIDS, fostering long-term partnerships grounded in mutual respect and shared priorities. Increasingly, women's representation in global governance needs to be addressed as a matter of urgent priority. These challenges are not insurmountable, and in fact, we are seeing a rise in global awareness and commitment to gender equality, backed by important frameworks such as the Women, Peace and Security Agenda, which is a priority area for Malta. The Women, Peace and Security Agenda was a priority area for Malta also during its two-year tenure of the UN Security Council. And during our tenure, we focused on the role of women in post-conflict and their post-conflict road to democracy. As a country that champions multilateralism, Malta has officially joined the UN Secretary General's Common Pledge for Women's Full, Equal, and Meaningful Participation in Peace Processes Common Pledge, and encourages others to do so. We emphasize the vital role women play in achieving sustainable peace and urge all stakeholders to take concrete actions to include women in their peace mediation efforts, thereby ensuring their full, equal, and meaningful participation in negotiations. In conclusion, by leveraging its diplomatic voice and convening power, Malta reinforces the principle that international cooperation must be inclusive, equity-driven, and responsive, especially to those states whose very existence is currently threatened by the global challenges we all share. Thank you.